Welcome back, everybody. We are very nearly ready to go with our first two lobbies of the day. 2 out of 8 to be played. If you've been following us through Friday and Saturday, you will be familiar with the format. This is the top 2 teams from both Friday and Saturday, running it all back yet again with 8 lobbies with the same point system, except this time that whole $10,000 prize pool is on the line. And I was not lying when I said we were ready to go, Collins, because here we are, and we are straight in to the winner's POV from yesterday. We are joining RDU on his hero choices. What do you make of his options here?
Yeah, he's not as Bob isn't being as nice today. It's the first thing to see. A lot of subpar choices. I think he's going to go with the Deathwing, especially with mechs and beasts in the lobby. He will be able to just force Death Rattle composition or use the micro machines to get an advantage there.
Yeah, and I think you could see actually straight away a little shake of the head, not too happy about what he was dealt there on the first choice. None of those real top tier heroes. But as you said, you can see at the top there, dragons and pirates being the 2 tribes banned out here, meaning that, as Colin said, both mechs and beasts available for the Deathwing, which is exactly what he wants to see. Habu Gabu, though, finds himself on Jandis, and for Jandis, having Murlocs available in the lobby here, I think, is the biggest deal.
Yeah, he's also fighting his teammate in the first round, so they've been having that a lot.
They have.
Yeah. I wonder how he's going to do it. Probably buy something, just holds in his hand, probably gets the refresh. We'll see what goes from there.
One of the last times this happened, Habu Gabu did take kind of the free roll on the demon comp, right? Because he knew he wasn't going to take damage early on, but that was with other demons in the shop, I believe. So he is just going to take the refreshing anomaly here instead.
Yeah, looking at all the heroes, it looks like Silvername got the worst end of the stick here for this first round, having to play with the Cindergosa. We saw it in the other lobbies. It did perform okay. It wasn't dominant enough to win, so we'll see if he can make it work here.
And that is Boodalicious on the Omu, who was not able to find an economy minion on turn 1, which makes Omu's curve a little bit more difficult. But Cindergosa does have a nice freeze here. Silvername has the Divine Shield minion frozen in the shop and a token star, which I would say is about as powerful as you can get as an opening for Cindergosa.
Yeah, he considering he got a pretty bad hero, I think this is probably the best outcome, getting that Divine Shield minion and the token start. So he shouldn't be too scared just in the early game for sure. Oh,
and Rafam has the free dealt triple coming out here from Bob. Rafam, one of the characters that can really take advantage of this, since you do spend so many turns on Tavern 1 anyway. There's no real disadvantage to freezing those early triples.
Yeah, he's going to have a big lead once he hits that triple. We'll see when he wants to do it. Most people at this stage of the game will be getting a 3-drop, but there are some plays where you can greed a little bit and go for a higher tier minion.
That's right. See what fills in the gap here. Okay, not a great third minion to be able to pick up here. It's slightly irritating at this point because you can end up floating gold with the way curves sometimes work here. This is the turn where Rafam would usually have 1 turn to roll to look for a premium minion to buy, but obviously Oliek is kind of locked into the shop that he has right now.
It's not too bad, even though he doesn't get to roll. At least he's getting that guaranteed triple eventually. Yep. So he's not going to be too sad that he's wasting a gold here. He does still get the triple. Hopefully it works out for him. Interesting.
Whoa, XQN full griefing here. The cell play going up against the Rafam, fully shutting this down. I was talking about this with Gia yesterday, that when you play a one-off lobby on ladder, griefing certain opponents like Rafam or Rag or whatever it is, it's not really that important because you're just playing that one lobby, right? And you'd rather just focus on your chances of winning over anyone else's chances of losing. But when you're playing a league system, I think it has a little bit more merit to it.
Yeah, he went for the grief, went for the level here, hoping to hit something. Unfortunate, this is one of the big punishes of leveling this early. One of the reasons why I think can be super scary, does not like his rolls, is so sad about his rolls. I actually like this play to salvage the play he did last turn, because if he was to pick up these minions, hero power, and try to go from there, he's definitely not going to have any direction to go on, not going to be strong enough. So he has to just say, I'm going to take as much damage as possible. I have to find a good mech. I have to find a beast. There's a lot of good things on 4 he can pick up here.
Boodalicious cannot believe his eyes as he gets the absolute free win here against his opponent. Although actually, I guess he would with the way it's laid out, because this is actually his partner. So this was a deliberate ploy between the two of them. You see the bomb being held in hand from Bootylicious to be able to reduce some of the damage that he's pushing to the opponent.
Yeah, knowing that he's going to fight his opponent also makes this play even stronger, knowing that you can avoid a lot of damage, and that is the role he was looking for this turn. He would have loved to have hit that egg and been able to hero power and salvage it, but still a really good play from him, a really good role from him.
Yeah, his board is actually now not even that bad for a 7 gold turn. He has a 5/5 and a 4/5, which will likely over-contest the minions that his opponent has, and then obviously the amount of reborn value that he gets off this is pretty insane. Whether or not Daryl has gone for a small early dance here, he might actually still end up winning this fight even.
Yeah, this is when chat would be spamming 2-minion Andy and just seeing what's going on over here. We'll see if he'll be able to defeat this Daryl. This Daryl's looking fairly okay, probably strong enough to beat this opponent. He's considering buying the token just so he can dance next turn efficiently, but there are 2 tokens to choose from.
Yeah, the 5/5 Imprisoner here is a really big deal. The fact that he's got that buffed up from the Overseer just to be able to make sure the Infested Wolf on the other side is not going to pick up any value trades. That should probably secure the fight for Alexis Diesel here, meaning Lich King is going to be playing from behind in terms of health total at least.
Yeah, that's an interesting freeze here. It looks like he really wants that token, that extra token value so he can dance on it, dance on something that he rolls next turn. I don't think a lot of players would be freezing there, just looking to find better things to dance on, but decides that he just wants that consistent value of having an extra token instead.
Nice. Bad early attacks, I would say, there for the Lich King, but the tokens cleaned up very nicely by all focusing on the 2-star minion there to reduce as much damage as possible for XQN there at the end. And
you can see a lot of players are early leveling, trying to spike and get a really good value minion so that they can go from there. A lot of people realize that they need some type of nutter role to win these lobbies, so they're not scared about taking a lot of early damage if they can hit something really powerful in the early to mid game.
Any interest in this Macaw, Collins? He has just picked up an egg this turn as well, and he certainly has the board space to be able to leverage it.
Yeah, I think the Macaw is definitely the pickup here. The only other thing you could look for is that Selfless, hoping that it hits the cleave so you could get 2 cleaves off cleanly. But I think this is a much safer play, especially for this turn, just to get 2 8/8s on the board.
I think, especially with a 0/5 on the board, right, that potentially just introduces a failure rate for the Selfless hero, where it'll end up giving you no value at all.
Oh, interesting. It's feeling really pressured, and the Macaw pickup encourages him to hero power the egg, saying, okay, I'm committing here. I feel weak. He actually wouldn't have been that weak against this opponent, but is saying, hey, I want to make sure that I'm not going to take any more extra damage. I'm going to use this egg to bridge the gap, maybe allow me to level early and find a real direction to win this lobby.
Yeah, it looks like these 16/16s are going to be able to get this job done very nicely indeed, even with the reborn egg on the other side. And actually, the egg itself has a chance of surviving here. Okay, that's a big attack going through from XQN just to be able to cut even more damage off the board.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he would have won this round even without the hero power. You can see it in his face. He's thinking, maybe I should have held it for a bit. But I think he's making the safe play, hoping to not die here. He has to buy 3 things or level here, deciding on how strong he feels. So I do think he might actually just level, considering that if he wants to buy 3 things here, he'll be buying Death Rattles most of the time. And he doesn't really want to clog the Death Rattle spot. So we might just see a quick level up to 5 here, even though he doesn't have a full board. Yep. All right, so he does decide that he doesn't actually want to clog his board, because with 9 gold, he doesn't have the opportunity to roll. He really does want to be strong. The egg and the hero power, that's the reason why he hero power last turn, to make sure that he has a consistent early game in case he has a situation like this where he doesn't like these rolls, but he wants to make sure that he's not going to take damage. It is turn 9. A lot of people will have full boards, so he does decide, hey, I don't want to clog the Death Rattles. I'm just going to level here. Seems to be a good play for him to salvage using the hero power in the last turn and making sure that he should be strong enough to survive this board.
Yeah, I like it too. You can see here it's just him and XQN that have been able to go to Tavern 5 this early. So this is just kind of the other way of playing Reno, where you do just golden a premium minion nice and early and just use that power to be able to get to Tavern 5 and pick up those real carry cards like the Bran or the Genie or whatever it's going to end up being. Just pick them up manually because you get there so much faster than your opponents.
Yeah, that first hit was really critical. If that Deflectobot hit the Macaw, he might have not had such an easy win here. It might have been a lot more difficult. But with him not losing the Macaw and getting that free egg, he does get a huge advantage and takes down the opponent.
See what he's going to hit here on Tavern 5, whether he's going to be immediately paid off for the greedy leveling. He has the opportunity here to pick up some just decent piles of stats just to fill out his board, but with the Macaw and Egg combination, he doesn't even necessarily need to fill his board immediately, especially with buying additional death rattles here.
What an insane roll, giving him a lot of direction here. If he wants to go for the juggler composition, he does have 2 Void Lords and a juggler pickup here. I thought the Void Lord pickup was interesting considering that it does clog the board, but he gets absolutely rewarded here, instantly getting a juggler and another copy, making him quite a strong opponent to deal with in this lobby.
Yeah, I like this push. I think it's a strong push to try and actually kill some people very quickly, right? He's got so strong so quickly that he might just be able to eliminate people's entire boards without really losing that much strength himself. So I think he's in a pretty good position.
Yeah, looking here at RDU's board, it looks like he's facilitating the mech composition. This is one of the reasons why you play Deathwing in these metas, right? You can really take advantage of those micro machines and the buffs that you get from the Divine Shield Deflectobots to have a really good turn. You saw he had a lot of options in the triple. He could have taken the Rag, but I don't think Rag works as smoothly as the Foe Reaper, and he also had the Noyo module on the board right there as well.
Yeah, looks pretty solid to me. Not every day you see a Replicating Menace just being used as an individual minion. It's just being used as the reset here for the Deflectobots, which is somewhat unusual to see. If he picks up the Annoy module here, do you think it's going on the reset or on the cleave here, Collins?
It's definitely going on the cleave. I think you just want to make sure that cleave will cleave as much as possible and just ruin some days. I do see a lot of... or at least for myself, I do see a lot of people picking up using micro machines as a standalone, at least in the early game when you're playing Deathwing, because by itself it does have really good value when you are... Ooh, what a lucky hit, by the way, there. When you are Deathwing, because you are going to get a 5-1 and then 3-3-1s.
Right. And unfortunately... Oh, okay, that's a rough attack for RDU. I was about to say, unfortunately for Silvername on Syndragosa, his... was not able to get any resets on his Deflectobots before it was going to cycle back around in the attack order to have them sack themselves. But RDU did the favor for him by sending one attack in. It looks like Bootylicious in our first lobby of the day is going to be our first player eliminated on finals day, as he does bite the dust in 8th place here.
How did Daryl kill him? He took 16 damage. And looking at his board, that means that the 10-8 survived and the 1-7 survived as well. So really, probably a little bit unlucky for Bootylicious to just take the max amount of damage to get perfect lethal there. Very surprising to see. What an unfortunate situation for him there.
Safety restrictions offline.
It looks like he's picking up the Foe Reaper too as well. The Foe Reaper can be really nice if he can find a Micro Machine or a Deflectobot, or a Noyo module. He can buff that up to Oblivion and just buff it and have a huge cleave, essentially with Divine Shield as well, and really carry him. Unfortunately, he's going to be against Deathwing, which will have a lot of death rattles and probably won't be as smooth as a battle in that mean.
Yeah, he does not really have a clean-looking board to be dealing with RDU's Deathwing right now. We did see him previously had a Annoy module frozen in the shop, so his would have got even stronger from the last time we saw it. And then, yeah, there you have it. That is a fairly scary-looking Deathwing board already for this stage of the game.
Yeah, you can see that RDU was at full life before he lost to Silvername there, so he's still really healthy, still top in the lobby so far. So definitely the opponent's probably going to be feeling a little bit of pressure, trying to do what they can to avoid just taking as much damage from him as possible.
Huge cleave opening here from RDU, taking out 2 massive minions alongside the Taunt.
But the Full Reaper getting that that attack buff also really actually doesn't matter because everything will die for the cleave, so it actually doesn't matter. But it was an interesting looking buff there. If in different situations would have been more impactful.
RDU again gets the very lucky attack into the non-taunted reset there before either of the deflector bots go down.
Oh wow!
And that means he is going to take that fight, but Silvername is going to take a beating here from XQN with his early level ramping, meaning Silvername himself is going to go out in 7th place here, now down to our top 6 already.
I wonder what XQN is running, because it looked like Silvername was in a pretty decent position, had 2 deflecto bots, but I wonder what XQN has that was able to completely dominate and beat out Silvername's board there. All right, so it looks like he's going to pick up the Amalgadon here, as we can see that he has a brand right there. Yeah,
just peeking through the middle, there's a brand, so I'm pretty sure Amalgadon is going to be the pickup here.
Yeah, we can also see he has a golden dire horn too, so maybe he has some type of menagerie composition that he's looking at. Oh, and there's a triple selfless on the board. He's got a lot of pieces to make a really powerful board here, and it does look like he is going menagerie with these pickups, trying to do something with the selfless and the jug as well.
Yeah. He sells his 2nd mech here, so he plays the Amalgadon on the board with a mech and a beast, and then the Amalgadon becomes his 3rd minion type for the perfect menagerie for the jug to come down. Picks up a another triple now, and looks like he's, I was going to say Kangor's Apprentice is actually not that bad here, at least it's just a temporary minion. Yep.
Yeah, this is a pretty solid play. If he didn't have the mech that was already invested, I think he might have taken the Full Reaper, because it would have been a better minion for Menagerie. But with this situation, getting double eggs or even double 6s will be pretty effective for him at this moment. Oh, yeah. So you can see the Reno still keeping the egg. Just a little love, you know. Oh, I invested in you. There's no way I'm throwing you away. You don't fit my comp at all. I don't care. I'm gonna keep you anyway.
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, it's a 16-16. It's not that bad at this point, but we saw him pick up the Void Lords, and now we're even seeing the Golden Juggler that has come out as well, which is a pretty insane situation here, and there is not actually that much health hanging around there on XQN's board to be able to compete with that Jugglers. And see Daryl fighting the dust as well in 6th place there, going out for Alexis Diesel.
Yeah, you could see that the Daryl's board didn't have really any scaling options. He had a bunch of demons, but they didn't actually do anything in terms of being strong or being a unit that you want to keep till the end of the late game, and he just fell too far behind with the minions that he buffed on. I want to say that the Lich King was pretty lucky that his Kangor didn't get super sniped in the early game. He was able to get the egg to die before the Kangors got popped, and that was the difference maker in why he won that round.
Yeah, there was also some pretty unlucky attacks towards the end where his Imp Mama attacked into the 0 attack egg and therefore did not spawn another demon with Taunt. And then his Golden Juggler attacked into the 6/6 instead of the 0 attack egg to be able to just kill itself off. So a couple of unlucky attacks there back to back cost him a lot of juggles that would have cleared up that board as well.
Will he get baited by the extra brand? A lot of players fall for this, myself included, where we see another brand and we're like, just one more, you know? He's considering it. You can look at it. If he didn't care about it, he would have rolled past it, but he's like, do I want this pair?
I mean, all I see is a genie that's going to drop him another Amalgadon this turn if he picks it up. I'm not even looking at the brand, Collins.
I do think the brand would be bait here for sure. He could definitely die in these turns. A little bit scary to be picking up that right now, but he's going to do it. I love it. Oh, man.
He's a dreamer. And he definitely has a good setup for this hero power on the 3/6, because he has so many taunts that are going to die first, right, to create some board space before that eventually goes off. So I think he's in a pretty good spot to be able to do that kind of thing. Wind Fury minions are a little bit scary when you're trying to get this kind of taunt setup going, though.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to make a major drill move comp. We haven't really seen too many of these, but with the buff, a lot of people are experimenting with the card now, trying to see if they can make it smooth into their composition. I do think the stats are a little bit awkward a lot of the times to make it really work efficiently for you, but we'll see how it goes in this battle.
Big punish there from the plant tokens coming off the Amalgadon, filling up the space,
So
and meaning
lucky.
the Kangors could not get full value towards the end there.
What a massive attack from the Amalgadon, being the savior of that round. He was definitely going to lose if he went straight into the Dire Horn. So, he still loses. Wow, exact lethal. Unfortunate for him. Still doesn't have enough. So, what a shame there.
And that is going to take us all the way down to top 3 now, with just Habu Gabu, XQN, and Godumit left alive. Who I believe are representing 3 completely different teams here, taking down the top 3. So very, very widespread series of results in our first lobby. Really no one running away with this one early.
Yeah, it looks like he's considering getting rid of his egg finally. He's like, maybe it's finally time. This thing doesn't fit my composition at all. He's going to hold the juggle in his hand just because he can save a gold. But we haven't actually looked at the Jandis the whole game. Habu doing well. Even without the Murloc transitions, he's been able to hero power the what are those cards called? The Battle Master, to get a lot of value here.
Yeah, and it's actually weirdly effective against the Soul Juggler Demon comp on the other side, right? Just having those giant pools of health and to be able to soak up all those juggles.
Yeah, he's really looking for that triple. He's looking for that brand, but you can see that a lot of people are hogging him, so it might be a little bit difficult for him to find it.
So he's going to lead out with his Light Fang here. He does have a decent menagerie setup for the Light Fang as well, with the Crackling and a decent range of other minion types as well.
Yeah, he's got you can see he's got a good scaling board. Will it be enough? It really depends on how strong or how much work those Battle Masters can do. Those are going to be the real carry for his comp currently, so we'll see how it pans out for him.
Oh, good second attack. The first one going into the Selfless Hero was kind of a big deal, or could have gone very badly for him, but the second one picking off the Amalgadon was very nice indeed.
Yeah, we're really going to see how much work those 10 and 8 attack minions can do. They have a lot of health, but the 22-22 is looking mighty scary, but it looks like it might still just be enough, having a lot of those health stats keeping them alive.
Yeah, just on an eyeball check, I think he's just about getting there with the raw power of the 8-100 that he still has available, but the Dire Horn obviously is not going to be overkilling anything anytime soon, so there's not going to be any huge amounts of 10-10 summons coming out, and yeah, it looks like Abu Gabu's got this one covered quite comfortably.
Yeah, it looks super scary for the Jandis there, right? It just looks like, are those enough? They have no attack. But just having so much health and just a little bit of attack to make sure that they don't get one-shotted or in 2 hits or so, it's really enough to carry him.
I think Abu Gabu is now in a very powerful position,
and
especially
what a disaster.
Absolute disaster.
Well, that's so unfortunate for him. He still has to buy it. Just unfortunate there that it hit the worst minion. That was the only thing he really didn't want to see. He could roll for brand, or he could just settle for the 2 poisons. I think the 2 poisons look good, but if you remember the composition of the opponent is jugglers, which those poisons will do absolutely nothing for. So in a lot of traditional states, you would actually just take those poisons, but if you know exactly that he's running demons, or if you look over to the screen and realize that he's running demons, you should realize that you actually don't need to be picking up those minions there.
Yeah, and I think it should be a dead giveaway as well. Normally, even if you haven't fought against a particular opponent, if you check the sidebar and it says Demons 6 or Demons 5, it's usually a good sign that those last 2 minions or 1 minion are
so he does buy 1, but he does make the decision that he doesn't probably need to. So a little bit of a safe play, goes for the poison just in case, but doesn't need both of them. I think that's very fair.
Spends his last piece of gold on picking up a small buff for that Savannah High main. Every point of health could end up mattering against these huge demons, and we did briefly cut over to Dummit in order to see him pick up on my Exner there, which I think is a really clutch pickup for him as well. It gives him a small chance of actually winning this fight if he can get that my Exner attack to line up.
Yeah, if the real decider is if that poison can take out the Battle Master. That's really what this game is going to boil down to. The nice thing, though, for the Reno is that he's still at 19, so he can take probably a loss here and not be fine, and then calibrate, maybe add in more poisons or put the poison earlier or buff it in some way. But, oh, unfortunate. So that 50-50 to win the game doesn't roll in his favor, so it looks like he's going to be taking a lot of damage here.
Yeah, he is going to absolutely take the 10 hit here. That Golden Juggler has absolutely no shot taking down this giant minion. But now both players have full information of what they are dealing with, and I think from Dummit's perspective, finding some way to bring in some more poisonous minions is probably going to be the order of the day, because no amount of juggling is going to be able to deal with a 271 health minion.
Yeah, it looks to be a lot harder for Dummit to be able to overcome. All Dummit has to do is make sure that his Battle Master doesn't get sniped, so it's going to be quite difficult, because on the other side, he has to find a way to get either multiple poisons or make sure that poison hits that Battle Master there. So we'll see if he can do it.
Amalgadon is an option that can at least hit poisonous here. He does roll into the Spore immediately. That's got to be at least tempting in this situation.
Yeah, the real question is what is he planning to remove? If he looks, he notices that the Jandis doesn't have any taunts at all, so maybe he wants to get the poison, just put it early, see if he can get an early snipe. Though the earlier you put it, the higher chance, and he rolls poison there. There is a possibility to sell that Mal'Ganis to get another poison on the board. I think that is what he's going to do as well. So he's making the right place to find the best chance to kill that Battle Master here.
Yeah, I like it. He's leading with the poison here, which means it's almost certainly going to not going to hit the Battle Master, but he does at least have that ability to clear the space.
You can see that the positioning was changed on the Jandis side, putting the Battle Master first instead of last. Okay, so that could have been disaster for him if he hit the poison. Okay, the poison was sniped as well, so a lot of good things happening for him. Oh, what a disaster. Okay.
And that, I believe, is just going to be game for Habu Gabu as well. I think the Battle Master has this soloed from this point quite comfortably, and you can see the look on his face. He is picking up where he left off. Even if RDU has fallen off a little bit with his 5th place, Habu Gabu is able to take down the lobby for the team. And actually, with a 1st and a 5th, that is still a pretty successful first lobby for the team that dominated yesterday.
Yeah, you can see that Dummit did play exactly as well as he could have to give him the highest chance of winning. So I do want to give some props to Dummit. He did make the best place he could with the situation that he had. He was in an unfavorable position. Jugglers really struggle in the end game because other people just get too many stats and it's hard to juggle the damage away. But he did look at the opportunities that he had and went for the outplay and did secure a 2nd place for his team. So not too bad.
Yeah, very, very nice performance. From all of that top 4, you can see how those results have panned out, and Habu Gabu and RDU have taken their spot on the throne once again, and Goddammit and Silvername not too far behind. Those were the 2 winning teams from our opening 2 days, and they have taken up the spots in 1st and 2nd position again, Collins.
Yeah, you can kind of see from just this game alone that all the teams were relatively close, right? And you can see that even if you put those 2 lobbies together, we're still getting similar shakeout in the standings. So it's nice to see that all the teams are relatively close, and the results from day 1 and day 2 are actually bleeding into day 3 as well.
Yeah, very good stuff so far from all of the teams. That one was pretty close, as you could see, when we got down to that final 4, final 3, and it was multiple representatives from different teams. And even with that small lead being opened up already for RDU and Habu Gabu, there is still plenty to be played for with 7 lobbies left to play. Do not go anywhere, guys. We are actually going to take an impromptu quick break here to try and deal with some technical issues, but we will be back as quick as we possibly can and picking up with lobby number 2. So do not